Test one. It's the one I'm taking. All right, good morning on this beautiful sunny day. Rise and join me in our song because the sign outside says something about love. So let's sing about love. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. Love is my my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now. And I believe Reverend Edith was lucky enough to see Daniel Nahmad last week. And if you haven't, look him up on YouTube. He is the most intense and wonderful musician ever.
Yes.
Daniel Nahmad, Nahmod.
Yes. Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Syracuse, again on this beautiful summer day. It's just nice to finally have summer here. So my name is Leland Jackson, and I will be your platform assistant. And welcome to all of those of you who are watching out on Love Streaming Land. I know a couple of people who were here a lot yesterday, and they said, I'm home today, I know how to watch. So welcome to all of you. So let's now open with the reading of our daily word. And with this being Father's Day, the word is so appropriate, Father's blessing. I bless all those who encouraged my self-discovery, growth, and learning. In the United States, today is traditionally an opportunity to show appreciation for fatherly influences. I offer a prayer of gratitude for the fathers who provide necessary guidance, strength, and support for their children. Whether or not we had a masculine influence in our lives, it's encouraging to realize that spirit lives and moves and has being in every one of us. Spirit encompasses both masculine and feminine aspects. While the softer love associated with a mother seems more appealing, the masculine aspect of the fatherly role as a mentor, a guide, and a supportive presence is also essential to the proper performance of our spiritual purpose. I give thanks for those who encourage self-discovery, growth, and learning. And from Proverbs 20, verse 7, the righteous walk in integrity. Happy are the children who follow them. So let's take this moment just to realize that sense of someone who is walking in integrity, knowing that that is someone where you can have your guidance. And it doesn't need to be a man or a woman. It could be a child, actually. So just honor all of those influences that support your spirit today and every day. Blessings to all, and a special happy blessings to the fathers. Thank you. So now it's time for our children to move on to the YFM. So if you will gather in the back with the teachers, and we will sing you out and have a blessed morning. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. And now stand as you are able, and we will say our statement of being. It is there on the screen. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And now take this time to greet one another, ask for that handshake or that hug. And those in live streaming, get up and stretch, have a cup of coffee, or be ready for more.
Good to be back.
Definitely.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How about a hug?
Good morning. I'm still live. I'm just like.
All right, thank you, Mark. You know, a nice to have the organ play again, and in such an appropriate song for today. So, first off, I want just to thank all of those who helped make our Unity Yard sale yesterday just a tremendous success. We had to keep going buying hot dog buns because we sold hot dogs and more than we expected. So, and just all the fun that everybody had today. So again, thank you for everybody that came and their support. A couple of things for today. There is a YFM teachers meeting at 12:30, and also a facilities team meeting at 12:30. That'll probably be in the green room, I think, or out and about, and then the teachers will be over in the manse. Next Sunday, we have a town hall meeting, so please come. That's really where we get a chance to be informed and see what the thinking is and where we're going, what our needs are. So, and where, more importantly, you can put your information, your feedback in to the board particularly. There will be a regular board meeting this Thursday at 7, and the YFM is selling Delta Sonic tickets. So there's just general washes, there's the interior cleaning, and then gift tickets as well. So They'll be available downstairs. They'll be available next week at the weekend at the chicken barbecue. So they're a great gift idea and things, so that helps support our YFM. And then finally, what's next Saturday? Barbecue, back up, yep, and the veggie burgers. So we do need lots of help. The sign-up sheets are downstairs after the service. If you haven't put your name down somewhere, please do. And there'll be a couple of us probably circulating around the room, just making sure that we have all the support. So there is a lot of work with it, but it's a lot of fun because it's a time when you're standing next to someone that you may not have had much time to get to know who they are, and you spend an hour and 2 hours just kind of getting to know them. And it's just, people have always talked about how they really got to know someone else in the church on barbecue day. So, and remember, we have t-shirts. So please wear your t-shirt. And if you don't have one, they're available for purchase. They're in the bookstore.
Downstairs, in the bookstore. So Leland was talking about how we can also have fun. Well, our drum team ministry is hosting a drum circle during the barbecue. So if anybody wants to bang on some drums, or you have one, bring one, or if you have any kind of percussion, including a top and a pot and a spoon. I would say a wooden spoon would work better, or a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket. Yes, you can beat on a bucket and make noise and have some fun that way. The second thing I want to mention that we're doing for the first time at Chicken Barbecue is our prayer chaplain team ministry is hosting a prayer tent. So people can come and get a prayer. What we're really present to is, how do we have people know who we are as Unity? Well, yeah, the chicken barbecue, that's great, fundraiser and everything, but we want to plug in everything that we do. So we want people to know that we can pray with anyone who asks for prayer. We want people to know that we like to have fun. We'll have brochures and whatnot to like our brochures we have in our new people who've just visited packet. We'll have some of that now at all of our events, so that we're continuously marketing ourselves as well as giving to the community. So if you don't want chicken or veggie burgers, come have a prayer. Come drum with us. Just come and be in community with us.
Thank you. Oh, yes, we need brownies. Oh, yes. But please refer to your bulletins because there's so much going on. These are just a couple of the highlights of stuff that's coming up immediately. So, all right, I'd like to welcome our guests. Do we have anybody here today that's visiting for the second or third time, or maybe just hasn't been here in a long time? Welcome back. And please feel free to go down to the bookstore. We'll have a gift for you for coming back again. So visit with us down in the fellowship hall. Do we have anyone who's visiting for the very first time today? Don't think so. I think we all look fairly familiar. Oh, welcome. Keep your hand up for just a moment. The ushers have a gift for you, a packet, and also a candle. And the candle is something that when you light at home, just remember that is that Christ light that is within you, and just the spirit that is really within. So, and then also do join us in the fellowship hall after service. Come to the bookstore. There is a yellow sheet to fill out. Turn that in, and we have an additional gift for you. So, welcome. All right. So, now it's time for our 5 basic principles. This is what Unity is founded on, and so. We all experience how our weeks work and what happens in our lives. So are there a couple of you who might want to take a quick share just to say how this has shown up in your life this past week? Lillian, did you raise your hand? Oh, okay. Didn't want to put you on the spot, but... oh, Patsy has...
Number 3 that I want to talk about. Our attitude toward things really colors the way they turn out and evolve. Well, yesterday my phone died. And those of you who know me know that it's very hard for me to stay away from my phone for even 15 minutes. It's connected to my job, it's connected to everything. But instead of really saying, oh, this is horrible, this is awful, I just went to non-judgment and allowing, and I walked into the Verizon store, and they told me that that one day they had a $200 buyout on phones to give a new phone and an upgrade. I owed less than $200. They bought my old phone out, and my new phone is better. It works better, and my life has been like that for quite a while. The minute something happens that could be construed as a negative, I go to allowing and I go to accepting and releasing any judgment, and it winds up being a great blessing that follows. So it's a silly thing, but it does point out principle 3. So.
I want to share. Hi, everybody. Oh, welcome. I'm Reverend Edith Washington Woods, the senior minister here, and I'm so grateful to be back from Unity Village. We had our annual Unity People's Convention that I was at last week, and so many great things happened. I'll share a little bit with you next week at the town hall, but what stands out for me in the principles is we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on you. And affirmative prayer. So there's a Nigerian Unity Worldwide Ministries. We have all over the world pockets of places where they have their own, even though they're under the bigger umbrella, like Canada has its own umbrella under our umbrella. Anyway, so there's a church or a school. Let's say it's a church and a school in Nigeria, and it was mentioned in our business meeting, excuse me, hold on. Do that. In our business meeting that was all morning from like 8 until almost 1 o'clock, it was shared that this Nigerian church and school didn't have a roof. And they started, I'm going to call it a bidding. And a church would say 1,000, another one would say 1,000, one would say 500, one would say 1,000. Before we were done, we had raised close to $32,000. They needed $17,000 for the roof. And I said, well, why don't we take that rest of that money and give it to Puerto Rico? So we're going to be giving money to Puerto Rico, to churches in Puerto Rico as well, and I donated $500 on the church's behalf. But what I said is, if the church isn't able, I'll give my own money, and so it's all covered. Board, don't sweat. It's all right. Jesus is in the house. Okay. And one more thing, really quick. So we've been praying for a long time for us to have more unity in unity, and what we were told at the business meeting is that the UWM, which is Unity Worldwide Ministries, our church sits under that umbrella, and myself as a minister, but we have Unity World Headquarters, which is Unity Village, Silent Unity, and all of that, magazines and stuff like that, Daily Word. They're talking about by next June when we meet, that they'll have a proposal to bring both boards together as one.
Yay.
Yay. And if some people have been praying about that for a very long time. Yes. Yes. So that's enough for me. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing on that. One more quick one, Carol. Okay.
Well, you know, Father's Day is a special day for so many people. And, you know, you're with your mother or your father and your children or whatever. And I always kind of looked at Father's Day like, I don't have my dad no more. And I was sad. But since I've been coming to this church, a lot of things changed with me. And one of the things that I started noticing is the love and compassion and the beauty of seeing other people with their fathers and with their mothers. And I turned it around. It's a wonderful day. It shouldn't be a sad day for anybody.
Thank you, Carol. And now's the prayer portion of our service. We have prayer chaplains serving today. I believe it's Akosua, and this after service is it Natalie? Oh, Ann, okay. So one will be up here, one will be downstairs. They'll be able to pray with you after the service. We also have prayer chaplains available before the service from 10:45 to 10:55. And so please use the prayer chaplains very frequently. It's always helpful to have that supportive prayer. So we have our prayer box that has come forward. And know that really, we saw the 5 basic principles of unity, but unity truly was founded on prayer. And at Silent Unity, they have been praying continuously now for well over 125 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter. There is always folks in prayer. And so in our prayer box, you may place your prayer intentions and know that they will be honored and prayed upon for the next 30 days here. We don't look at them, for it is all good in spirit. And then they get forwarded on to Silent Unity, where they are held again in confidence for the 30 days there. And it just so uplifts. It's in putting your intention out there and releasing it, then there is a place for spirit to fill.
As we take a deep breath in, we know that Spirit fills us. Spirit fills us with love. Spirit fills us with divinity. Spirit fills us with peace and joy and laughter. We know that this day, this Father's Day, we want to honor each and every individual in each and every household, however that household is made up. We know that everyone has a contribution into each and every family. We know that there are families here who know that we are all about prayer and that we are all about love most of all. So we circle and we know that each prayer in this prayer box and all of those that we hold on our hearts, that we didn't make it to the box, but we have it deep within our souls. We know that each and every individual has all that they need at any given moment and any given time. And so we're sending out into this world community as well as into this community right here. Peace, joy, love, blessings, but most of all, as we stand in love, we all say, Ashe and Amen.
And now it is time for our meditative part of this service. And some of you may have already joined me in closing your eyes. If you have not done so, I invite you to do that now. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, I simply ask that you focus on one spot in the room. For we affirm there is no spot where God is not. And let's just imagine for a moment, being that this month is the power of imagination. Imagining that in your hands is a ball of light, that light is bright like the sun. It may even be the color of the sun, or it may be just a ball of pure light. And it starts off very, very small, small like a little tiny seed. And you notice that as you become more relaxed in the seat where you're sitting, that the seed is growing. And perhaps it's even warming your hand. And you place your other hand right underneath it. And in this now moment, you feel that the light is growing. Growing and radiating out through your hand to reach the other hand, radiating up through your arms, your shoulders. And you notice that your shoulders relax just a moment. So we take a moment to breathe into this, breathing into, taking a breath and allowing our shoulders to drop even more fully, dropping, 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 as we relax in the nothingness of the now. And you notice, perhaps with our imagination, that this light from the ball is moving toward your heart space. And in this moment, we are affirming that love is radiating to your heart and from your heart space. And we know that coupled with that love is compassion. Compassion for everyone in this room, compassion for everyone in this community, the larger community, all communities, the community of the world. And we allow this love and compassion to simply be with us, to sit as we be the demonstration of it. And we join our hearts and minds together in this love, in this compassion. And know, dear ones, that that ball of light is continuing to enlarge itself, like enlarging our territory, such that it is encompassing this whole room, and all the balls of light have joined together as one light, one love, one compassion. So we take a few moments to be in the silence as we have this experience with our ball of light, as we acknowledge its presence everywhere now. And we take with us into the silence these words: I am love and compassion. I am love and compassion. In the silence, we go deeper together as one. And we rest in the stillness of the now. Compassion. I am love and compassion. And in this expanded state of awareness, we bring to our minds and hearts all of the fathers here today, all of the father figures in our lives, knowing that the essence of fatherhood is more than just a man, but it's the essence of it that we all share in this day. And we also bring into this space all of the prayer intentions which have been placed in our prayer box. And if anyone has someone on their heart, perhaps it's your own father, whether your father is with us as a physical presence or has gone on, transitioned to another way of living and being, bringing that individual to our lives, or any father figure. We bring this sense of compassion and love to this space, and know that in this moment we are free and unlimited, free and unlimited, allowing the essence of the Father to move through our bodies, freeing us up for anything that binds us. In this moment we pray, and so it is, and so we allow it. Amen, and amen, and amen.
So Reverend Edith got to see the wonderful, talented Daniel Namad, who's one of our current, just top wonderful people in our movement that Unity Music started, called New Thought Music, and that's what we perform here on many of our Sundays. Karen Drucker, Daniel Namad, Jennifer Farron, we get to play all of these. But there were some early people in that movement, and Reverend Edith came back from the conference finding out that Janet Browser Manning passed away recently. And she was one of the people who was able to forge this beautiful music movement that others were able to take and carry on and do some fantastic stuff. And she wrote this little ditty. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited. Right now. Now I know these songs really well, and they're in my mind all the time, but I do sometimes sit there having a bad day at work, and I think, you know what? If I'm having a hard time with something, I am free and I am unlimited with I am capable of doing. So let's sing that one more time. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now.
Good morning. Oh, that's not loud enough. Good morning, everybody. It's not snowing outside. I mean, gosh, we have a whole lot to be grateful for and happy about. You know what I mean? It was snowing, was it a month ago or something weird like that? Well, maybe it was snowing somewhere. Well, I know I had to pray for it not to snow on Mother's Day, so now here we are at Father's Day. And I want to say Happy Father's Day. Go back. Happy Father's Day to all fathers and father figures. You know, there are men who are fathers, but there's also people who have been fathers as well. I know for myself, I used to celebrate Father's Day because I was a single parent. And here's what I would do. Dinner time, you know, mother cooks food and whatnot, and I thought, well, what would a father do for Father's Day if they were a single parent? So we had breakfast for dinner. And I make a whole bunch of pancakes, and they would be about this size. Some people call them silver dollars, and I stack them up in the middle of the table on a plate, and I put the bacon or whatever it was we were eating, and I'd say, here's your fork. And I'd tell my kids, take your fork and put it on the table like this. Now dig in. And we'd go, and we'd get out. And that was fun. The things I did that was creative. I was using my imagination before I even knew about the imagination that we use here in Unity. So happy Father's Day. And I want to tell you about a couple of fathers that I don't know why my slide is not moving. There you go. A couple of fathers one that I know and one that I don't know, I saw at our convention this past week. The first father I want to share about to you is Reverend Ken. He's a minister at Unity of San Francisco, and he came to seminary about 9 months before I had graduated, so he was sort of new. And he was an amazing guy. He was from New York City. He actually was part of the Unity of New York. Most of those people that go to that church, they're into theater and Broadway and whatnot. So he had spent some time on Broadway as a dancer and I think a choreographer and things like that. And I saw him one day. We were having music. The music for the entire week was performed by Syracuse, which is the Unity of New York, that's their choir. And oh my God, talking about heart opening, you name it, from dancing kind of songs to heart opening songs. So I believe it was Friday. Yeah, Friday during, right before we had our keynote. And they were singing a song. I don't remember the name of the song because I was watching him and his daughter. So if you could see this picture, the silhouette of a father with a daughter, it was how he was with her. She's a little teeny weeny little girl, and she's adopted. He's a gay guy. He has a husband and everything, but he got out and they were doing this dance, and sometimes he would just swing her around like that, and it was slow, and it was methodical, and it was intentional, as if they danced every day. And it was so beautiful. You can only capture a glimpse of what that is like. And the reading there says, you hold my hand and show me the world. And so sometimes they would be dancing and he would have her like this and her hands was in his hands and they would be like that. It was almost as if they were performing a ballet. And it caused me to just smile and have this deep heart opening of love and compassion. Now the next father that I want to mention to you is a guy who we would see every morning. Every morning he would come to breakfast. All of the breakfasts is what they were provided. We were at a Embassy Suites. And at these breakfasts, this man was having breakfast with his daughter. And if you could imagine a man with his daughter, and perhaps one of these pictures, I'm not going to say what he looked like or anything, but I'm giving you pictures of men with their daughters from various walks of life. An Asian guy in the corner, you have a Caucasian guy, and I think it's a mixed family with one dad who's Caucasian and a black daughter, and all of these, and look at him, he's fixing his tie, you know, like cute little daughters would be. My classmate, Jocelyn, Reverend Jocelyn Mason out of Unity of Kalamazoo, she says to me one morning, have you noticed there's no mother? I said, no, it's just, you know, a guy having breakfast with his daughter. She said to me, well, the mother died right after she was born. And I saw him with his daughter, and I didn't see any pain, or I just saw love pouring out like in these pictures. But in that moment, my heart was able to open up to him with compassion. Compassion in a different way than when I just saw him eating. It was kind of different, because now I get it. Like, oh my gosh, they're the two of them. They are joined for life as two and not three. Our book that we're reading, mine is starting to tear. I don't know about yours, but in our book that we're reading, Mark Nepo, he says that we are challenged to hear the cries of the world very personally. And that's what I felt when I knew about that man with his daughter. I felt a sense of openness and a heart connection, even though he didn't know I was loving him up. But I felt that it was my responsibility to have that compassion for him in the same way that we can have compassion for those that we don't know, for those from different communities, for those who aren't part of our normal everyday existence. And he goes on to say in his book, Mark Nepo, as the wind can lift the snow off a branch, the cries all together can somehow lift the sadness of a broken heart. Have you ever had your heart broken? And somebody came up to you, called you, texted you something, and you knew that what they said was love, in the essence of love? Have you ever had that happen? Where your heart was just cracked wide open and you became ready to receive? But what about when we don't? What about when we have our hearts closed for whatever reason? Perhaps it's fear, perhaps it's, things that have happened in our lives that, no, I will not open up myself to you because I might get hurt. What about that? Perhaps it's that. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're hearing the cries of the world. Perhaps it's a little kid that's somewhere else in the world, such as it is in this image. Perhaps it's a lady who's Muslim with her hijab, and she's crying because someone said something mean to her. But perhaps it's right here in this town or in this country, or, that people are crying because they've been hurt. What do we do with the challenges of the world today? Our own cries, the cries we have in our own families. When I was away a few weeks ago with my family emergency, I felt your prayers for me. If you've ever been close to losing a child, you know what I mean. Or maybe you've lost one in some way, or anyone that you love. And what does it feel like when we're demonstrating these principles and we allow ourselves to love another with a word or two or three? I am is a powerful word, isn't it? I am love is another powerful 3 words, right? I love you. We're called to be. And in our book, Mark Nepo quotes the Sufi poet Halib, and he says, held back, unvoiced grief bruises the heart. Our heart is this big muscle that pumps blood everywhere. It's all over the place. It's just doing it. It's doing it right now. Because if it wasn't able to pump blood to an area, like a finger, for instance, then our finger would turn black. And it would have to be cut off. Is that what it's like when we're being unloving and unkind, when we're judging people, when we're saying that person is not doing this or not doing that? Is this what unlove means? when I think that someone isn't doing something like I would do it, and so I talk about them? Or is it a mirror of our own pain, of our own sadness? But what we are always called to be in the face of that is love and compassion. You see, the Dalai Lama says that love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And it's all about us. It's all about the love that we're willing to give. It's all about the love that we're willing to be. Do you know that you are pure love in a body? Do you know that the essence of our beingness is love? That God is love and love is God. And if we're created in the image and likeness, if we're declaring that we're part of it, whatever it is, then we are love. And it doesn't take a whole bunch, you know? I'm at this, well, they did a panel, and they were showing different things that as we move forward in unity, how do we bring unity and have it in the community? And there was this minister, and I won't go into the story of it, but I'll tell you this. They decided that they were going to give rocks to an inner city school. And they started getting rocks and painting them and putting hearts on them and I love you and you are love and all that kind of thing. And then I think they were in Texas, and a church in Florida heard about them, sent them 500 rocks. They filled those rocks up, and you know what? A church in Idaho sent them 200 rocks. And they were going around with a rock ministry that doesn't cost anything but time and some paint. And they showed their love. You see, we're always talking about, sometimes we're talking about, oh my God, we don't have enough numbers in the church and not enough money in the church and all of that. And that's okay, I get that. But do we have enough love? I say we do. We have so much love. I don't know, for those of you who have never been in this room before, but I do know when I first walked in this church in November of 2012, I felt it. I felt the love, and there was no one in here. There was no people, no butts in the seats, nothing. It was not a Sunday. I just want to make sure y'all understand that. And I felt it. It's an experience. It's a feeling. It's who we are if we allow it to be. Love and compassion can assist us with removing any chains that we have so that we live free and unlimited. You know, this is Gay Pride Month, and I'm saying gay to like say LGBTQIAP. Ask me what it means later. And it is a time that we as people who are same gender loving people or something like that, that we get to respect and honor and acknowledge each other. And now the country is kind of catching up with it. At least a good chunk of people are. But it's the same way that we honor Father's Day and Mother's Day and Christmas and Easter and all of those things that we do. It's just another way of loving someone. You know, Brene Brown, have you ever heard of Brene Brown? She makes these really lovely books. She said that when we're looking for compassion, we need someone who is deeply rooted, is able to bend, most of all, embraces us for our strengths and our struggles. So I want to talk to you a minute about this lady. There was a lady who had been hemorrhaging for a long time. All right, I'm sizzling. I'll come back over here. I think the PA system doesn't like me to walk around, so it makes noises, so just be with me when I move. But this lady had been hemorrhaging for 12 years. Every day, every minute of the day. I don't even know how to imagine that. And she heard about this dude. This dude had long hair, and he wore these robes, and he had sandals on and everything. And people liked this guy a whole lot. He had an olive-colored skin. Some people would call it whatever they call it in their image. They'll name it, and they'll color it up. But anyway, he lived in the Middle East. And people were flocking to this dude to hear what he had to say. And this lady heard that this dude was performing things like miracles and stuff like that. And she thought, well, if I go to him, if I could just touch the hem of his clothes, I would be made well. So the lady went there, and there was a whole crowd of folks, and she couldn't get to him. So she started crawling. And she crawled over to him, and the crowd was all around this dude. Oh, his name is Jesus, by the way. and she crawled, and she got to touch it, and then she left. And in one of the versions of the Bible, because it's in, I know for sure it's in the 3 Gospels. I'm not sure about John, but it's in the 3 in various ways. Anyway, so she gets there, she touches him, she moves out of the way, and this is what Jesus said. He said, "Who touched me?" Somebody touched me. And none of the disciples went on up to it, none of the people in the crowd. He said, somebody touched me, and when that person touched me, I felt power leave me. So she finally had to, meekly raise her hand, because she had been ridiculed a lot because she had been hemorrhaging. And this is what he said to her when he saw her. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." You see, she had been suffering for 12 long years. She had been bullied and ridiculed for it. And she walked around with her head down a lot. And he said she was healed because of her faith, not because of him. You see, every miracle that he performed, that's pretty much what he was saying. He was saying that we have this power within us, this power that is backed by love, this power that is backed by compassion, this power that is healing the cries of the world, that all we have to do is name it and claim it, and it's ours. She did that. You see, if I metaphysically interpret this, and we call metaphysical beyond the physical for those who don't know, when we talk about crowds, the word crowds, imagine it's a lot in this crowd. If you're thinking about what it was like a couple thousand or so years ago, all these people, masses of people all around him. Please heal me, heal me, heal me, heal me. There was even a rabbi there that wanted him to heal his daughter. I'm not going to tell you the story about that, but if there was a rabbi who was asking Jesus to heal his daughter who was 12 years old. So we're talking about crowds here. The crowds can be the thoughts in our head. That we have all these thoughts going on. Sometimes it's thoughts of fear. Sometimes it's thoughts of unforgiveness. Sometimes it's thoughts that I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do, to be who I came here to be. I can't possibly do it. I'm not good enough. You know, all those thoughts. And they're crowding our mind. And we're called to release them, to let them go, to know that we're free and unlimited because of them. I don't know why I keep beeping. It must be because I'm live and on fire. We're called to allow it to move out of our bodies, to get out of our bodies so that all there's left is love, peace, and compassion. You are love. You are peace. You are compassion. It is part of the essence of your beingness, here and now. There's nothing that stops you from being all that you came here to be. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are love. Turn to another neighbor and say, I am love. We are all love, yes. Yeah. And we're all in this together. It takes each and every one of us to allow love to be us, to live us, to resonate in us, for us to assist another person to see it within themselves. We are the windows of the world. In our eyes and how they are with people, allow us to see beyond what is real. So what was real for the father that with the daughter in that moment is he was giving her that pure love. And I know he had some suffering. He had to with his wife completing her physical life. But I felt like the mother was right there that day. Yeah? Just like today, it's Father's Day, and some of our fathers aren't here. They're right here. They're right here. They're never, ever not. Just a physical presence. You know, Daniel, I keep thinking of Daniel Nahmad. In our book, he gives us a couple of things I want to point out to us. And the first thing is, our own ounce of suffering is the thread we pull to fill the entire fabric. So if you can imagine that thread, that the lady that was hemorrhaging, she might have just got one thread, but that thread touched that fabric. You see, all we have to have is one thought, one I am love. And it gives us the opportunity to feel the presence of God everywhere we are. He goes on to say, it is essential to let it move through us. So if we're having sadness or suffering or fear or any of those kinds of things, then we can, in any moment of the day, turn on the radio, turn on the television, and you're gonna probably have a little bit of it. But as we feel it, we do feel it, and then allow it to move through us, then it could be gone and not stay stuck in our bodies. And lastly, each of us must make peace with suffering, and especially unnecessary suffering. Okay, all right, I'll tell you a story. So I was in the airport on Friday on my way back here, and I had 3-hour layover because me and another minister split the fare to come back to, get to the airport. And all of a sudden, I heard him say, flight to Atlanta is leaving, and they're shutting the doors now. And I was like, oh my God, that's my flight. And I get up, I grab my stuff, and I'm taking off. And I get to TSA, and I'm like, hey, I think my flight, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get in? And I'm just having this moment of suffering. And he said, which flight? I was the wrong flight. My flight wasn't boarded until an hour, 10 minutes later. But I suffered. You get me? I suffered for at least 1 whole minute. I was afraid, like, oh my God, I gotta get back to the church. I'm not gonna get back to 12. And what if I don't get back to the bar? What about the chicken? No, not the chicken, the yard sale. I was just in a minute, 1 minute. Oh. Unnecessary suffering, because my own thoughts, right? But we have it. We're the demonstration of our suffering. We're the demonstration of love. And I turned around, I said, oh, okay, and I walked instead of ran back to my seat. Oh, that's not where I want to go yet. Okay. So Mark Napo also says that when opened, our heart can touch the oneness of things we are all a part of. You see, I didn't tell you that one of the TSA said, we don't do that. She was not being very loving. But the other one opened his heart and helped me. Even though they're not supposed to do that, it's not part of their job description. But when we open our heart, we're able to know that we're part of this oneness. We're part of all that there is. There is nothing that separates us from each other. You know what? Sometimes it only takes a smile. There's this wonderful song. I'm going to see if the celebration team will sing it. I think it was from, it's a gospel song, and it's called Smile. And people were smiling and dancing, And it was kind of infectious. A smile at someone will change a frown. It will open a heart. Are you smiling? We are the demonstration that we want to see in the world. I got you. Look at you. Oh, thank you. I'm feeling it. Are you? Yeah. And our affirmation for today will assist us. It's nice and simple. My heart is full of compassion and love. Can we say that together, please? Together? My heart is full of compassion and love. Let's say that one more time. My heart is full of compassion and love. And so take a moment to just be still. Just be still. And know that the fans that are above are spreading the love around and faster than it would if they were off. And go back to that ball of light in your hand. And remember how that light, it went and moved through your body. It stopped and rested on the heart. And as it rested on the heart, it sent love throughout every vein, every artery, every organ. And that ball of light couldn't just sit within us. It had to be shared in a compassionate way, radiating out from our body out to this entire sanctuary, out to the entire universe. And we know the words, I am love, I am compassion. And now I invite you to open your eyes and let's say this affirmation one more time because our heart depends on it. Together. My heart is full of compassion and love. And that's the way it is. And the way we have it, live as us. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen. All right, peeps. Thank you. And now it's time for our tithes, love offerings, and gifts. Why do we tithe? Well, it's a spiritual practice. It's a spiritual practice of giving and receiving. In the same way that you just felt the love that we shared in this room, it's another way of giving love in the form of money substance. And so all of you out there in love streaming land, if you'd like to donate a tithe, a love offering, a gift, please push the donate button and give your gift. If anyone doesn't have cash on them or check, we have a card machine downstairs in the bookstore. If you want to swipe, that's cool. We also have giving that can be done on a slip where you're giving continuously, like setting up a monthly or a weekly tithe through your bank or through your credit card. We have slips like that. Are they in the back, those slips to do that? Yes, so if you want to fill out one of those kind of slips so you don't forget, I probably should do that myself. Then I wouldn't have to write checks. I only write checks here. So anyway, so just the ways that you can give your money substance in the form of love. And so with that love, we invite you to take your money substance, put it in your hand, and let's say our love offering blessing together. Together, please. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source.
Be the love you are. Be the love you are. Just as Master Jesus taught us, be the love you are. Be the love you are. Be the love you are. Just as Master Jesus taught us, be the love you are. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good to me.
Okay, so since I just happened to win 50-50, I'm just going to say it because I never won that stuff. I tithe back with part of my tithe. And, oh, Gandhi. Oh, gosh. Okay, beep. What does Gandhi have to say? Oh, my. Here's what he has to say today. Where there is love, there is life. We get to be the love, folks. Love up some people. Love somebody you don't know. You know, you stand in a grocery line or you're standing somewhere getting Starbucks or something like that. Just send love. You don't even have to go hug them or nothing. You just like going within to your heart space and just say, I love you. Especially if someone you judge, give them a little love instead of judging them. You see the judging coming up? Just then shift that and say, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to send them love. And let's see how we can change the world like that, okay? All right. So I put the money in. I'm not taking it out. Just saying. And the people who rub their hands together, they're doing it. And for those who don't know, you remember that ball of light? It's still in your hands. And so you allow that ball of light that has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger to just fill your whole body continuously in every moment of every day and move toward this money substance. As the love is radiating out from our hands and our heart to this money as we bless it and bless the giver. We bless this money substance. We bless the giver and all who have given in this spiritual community today. God, we are so grateful. We're so grateful that you live, move, and have your beingness as us, that we are the children of God. We are how God gets around. We are how love shows up in our life and in the world, even for those who are less fortunate, like the woman or the man who lost his wife. We're so grateful that we're able to give of ourselves, our time, talent, and treasure to assist us with being inside of our spiritual transformation. We're grateful for these gifts. We're grateful for the giver, and we allow it so that we give and receive together as one. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Uh-oh, here they come. I hear them. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking. We are walking. We are walking in the light of God. Hey, how
Hey,
y'all
everybody.
doing? Hello.
That's our love offering. Thank you.
What's going on? What y'all doing
Nothing.
today?
We just want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
And we know
Becky.
the way to a man or any person's heart is usually through their stomach, so we baked a cake and cupcakes today.
Oh.
Please come downstairs and enjoy. It's a yellow cake with chocolate frosting and then chocolate cupcakes with vanilla frosting.
Whoa.
So-
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you to my chefs. You want to introduce yourself?
Sophia. Tavion. CJ.
Todrick.
Thank you guys. For the yard sale, we made about $80. So thank you guys for your contribution and your help. And we have Delta Sonic Car Wash and Interior Cleaning tickets for sale if you have any gifts for anybody or need anything for your car. We're going to sell those downstairs as well. So thank you for your support unconditionally.
Thank you, Natalie. And we have our children's blessing and affirmation. And know that it's the children here, but also the children in our lives, wherever they are. And so let's say our children's blessing and affirmation together. We bless our children wherever they are. We see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. We have a thriving, expanded youth and family ministry. Yes, we do. And the prayer for protection? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And a peace song, everyone. Let's join up.